What's up everyone, Nethervvoid back with another Path of Exile build video for you. This is my Lacerate King of Blood Lacerate Bleed build update, level 50. I'm actually level 54, I recorded this video already and did not like how it turned out, so I'm recording it again. Lots to talk about. This build, and like all my builds, I theory them and they kind of don't turn out the way I think they will, and I change a lot of stuff. That's kind of the way I do it. I'm iterative that way. So we're going to talk about what I like, what I don't like, what I'm going to change, and what is bad and what I'm going to change, But for general things, I think at level 50, all builds feel pretty clunky. Like if you look at the tree, I don't have enough points to really do everything I want to do yet. Like I'm doing a crit build, right? I don't have enough crit off the tree yet. Weapons and equipment's hard to get. I'm leveling quickly, so I'm out-leveling my stuff really fast. You know, I'm trying to get resists, I'm trying to do a lot of things. And so builds feel pretty clunky. In my opinion, they don't really start to shine until you get up to the maps level. And then your build, if it's a good build, should really start to shine and should be able to clear maps pretty easily and feel fun to play. This build doesn't feel that way yet. It's decent, but it's not that great yet. And the new league kind of makes that harder because I don't have the links I want. If you look at my stuff, I've had a really hard time. I have some decent gear now with links, but it's burning through my currency a lot, and I'm not using the marketplace PoE trade for this league. It just takes a lot of time, and I don't have that kind of time. So luckily I've gotten really good drops on my swords, and well, they need to be switched out now, but at the time they were good drops, and had an easy time with that. This is a very weapon dependent build, so you do probably have to use the marketplace. PoE.trade is where I would hang out to get at least weapons for this build, because if you don't, you're just not going to be doing enough DPS. So let's go check that out a little bit. So what is good about this build? Let's talk about that first. And the build feels pretty tanky. Definitely not as tanky as my Bladefall build. Let's just go to like the marketplace. You can really see kind of how to play this build. I don't have anything up right now. I'm using Herald of Ash and Herald of Ice because it just adds a lot of DPS. Let's see how much. If you take those off, I'm at 1348 DPS right now, which is really not that good for Cruel. I'm in Cruel Act 2, and my damage is kind of low right now. But so if we're at 1348 and we'll put Herald of Ash on there, that's 150 about. Herald of Ice, you know, another 75-ish or so, like that. Also, when you have these running and you can have explosions and it does more damage when they get crits and they die or whatever. Like when they're frozen and they die, they explode and it deals extra damage, things like that. So that's also good for extra damage. But I'm going to show you some of the playstyle here really quickly. Yeah, the tank is okay if you keep Fortify and your charges up. So you can see there's my Whirling Blades Fortify. Enduring Cry for some endurance charges. That helps a lot. It keeps it going. So that's kind of the playstyle, is to whirl through packs. This is pretty much the same thing I was doing with my Bladefall Poison build. And really, it's what you want to do with all builds, especially hardcore. Like, probably if it was softcore, I wouldn't do this. But since it's hardcore, I'm definitely, you know, got to keep that going. But also, and I'm not hitting this guy with this, am I? There we go. But it's just really, and you can see I'm getting some feedback there, it looks like. Oh, he's got that shield on. I can't remember what it's called. And I just hit my damn flask and didn't wow, I'm not really leeching off this guy that room. I have 0.8 leech right now, and it's not really working against this guy. Let me pop my iron skin. This guy is pretty tough. I usually don't have the, you can see the DPS problem I'm having. I can't hit this guy. That's what's going on too. What's going on here? My latency's not that bad. I need to cast my dude again. Mana is a problem. Oh, I hit my that's what is going on here too. There we go. Arctic armor. I'm also running Arctic armor just for the extra physical resist. So this is making my build look really, really bad right now, but it's actually not this bad. But like I said, I need to upgrade my weapons. Having a hard time with that, and I need to try to fight at range more. I don't do that as much. So there we go. He goes down. That was a pretty tough fight right there. Usually it's not like that. So here's a normal fight. Whirl through. Put your charges up. This is pretty typical. And you can see the DPS is not that good. I don't clear packs very fast right now. Again, I need a weapon upgrade, but I will be getting that off PoE trade pretty soon here. Pick up all your currency for playing in a new league. Unless you're selling stuff, you're going to be pretty broke. Just trying to you know, get the proper sockets and links that you need, is going to be tough. Why can't I get through there? That's odd. Anyway, let's just get around the map here. So that's what's decent. The tank is decent. I mean, I'm not really worried. I did have a problem on normal lab. I almost died. That put me up a little bit. 1600 now. That's not bad. Of course, I have one frenzy charge going. But yeah, I almost died in normal lab because I went after all the keys because I got greedy. Don't do that in hardcore. Just kill the guy like normal and try not to die. It's probably a better thing.
I do love the stink of victory.
But yeah, it's a decent build. It's pretty fun. It's a little slow. I need more run speed. I only have 20% on my boots right now, so I want to get some more run speed. The DPS, like I said, is meh. We're going over the meh stuff now. That's not good or really bad. DPS is decent, but not really high enough. And when I switch out, and I need to go back to town to do this, but when I switch out, because let's look at my links real quick. I'm using Lacerate, which is obvious, melee physical damage, which is kind of obvious again, but I'm also using faster attacks and added fire damage. I'm finding it's getting me more DPS right now, because when I do multi-strike, which I'll show you in a sec, I have a helm that will do this for me. When I use multi-strike, which I am leveling multi-strike, and I'm also leveling increased AoE, but it brings the DPS down a lot right now, and a lot of that just is my weapons suck. That, and I don't have enough points on the tree yet. So let's go check this out. I'll show you the difference here. Oops, well, it can't until I switch back to the correct weapons, right? Oh, and then, God, what a noob. Where's my Lacerate? Alright, let's just do this again. Did I not switch that over? Oh, I didn't switch it out. There we go. Alright. Now I'll switch, there we go. So you can see there's the 6 attacks. Oh, actually the DPS isn't horrible. But these guys don't have a lot of life. So when you go up against guys that have more life, it doesn't pay really to use the AoE and the multi-strike because you're just not hitting hard enough. It is nice that it has way more range. I like that. Also, I don't like that it locks me in place for so long, because then if I need to get out of there with whirling blades, I kind of can't. But this is okay. It's not as extremely noticeable difference now. As I level up, it gets better and better, and as I level the multi-strike and the AoE gem, it gets better and better. When I first put them on, it sucked. It was just completely horrible. It was unusable, basically. You know, I've also been working on my flasks and stuff. I finally got decided to break down and kind of roll up a double run flask, which you can see here. I've got, and it didn't get a very good roll, but that's okay. So it's 60% run speed instead of just the 40, which is kind of cool. Nice thing about if you use multi-strike like this is if you aren't attacking, like the guy you attack dies when you're like, say you've only done 2 of the 6 hits, it will automatically retarget somebody else. So you can just sit there kind of at distance and just do this, and it'll just basically hit everybody. See how I'm not really moving around? That's kind of cool. I don't have to do a lot of positioning this way. So it's a little bit more of a face roll. The problem is, you know, I need to be a little bit more mobile with trying to keep my charges up and things like that. So that, it's still alright. So areas too small without the AoE gem, it's much better. I think I'll just continue play right now with the AoE gem in. But you can see on these blue packs, it just takes longer to kind of get all my, you know, to kill them. It's just because they have so much life. The nice thing is, oh, I don't even have, oh, well, then now I really don't. How are these coming off? Am I moving them around too much? There, now let's try this. So DPS is 1200 now. Well, that worked with the, again, those guys don't have a lot of hit points, so it looks like, oh god, it's so awesome, but it's not. it's just not. Let's go try it. Let's go get a big pack. Let's see. Again, it works really great on this map. We probably should go to a different. Yeah, see, you can see right here, it's taking a while to clear out this pack. Where with the other, you know, with 500 more DPS, it's just way faster. I haven't been really... Oh, here we go. The cool thing is, with this, I can just kind of sit back and AoE the screen, because it auto-aims for me. So I don't really need to do anything. There we go. Ooh, that was nice. Streamer's luck right there. So, weapon dependent, I already talked about that. My weapons are getting kind of old. These are decent. I've gotten really lucky with my weapon rolls. I picked this one off the ground. Check it out. 43% increased physical damage. Another adds physical damage, adds lightning damage. 13. Well, that other things. Accuracy's pretty cool. I like that. Same with this one. 71% increased physical. Some cold damage, lightning damage, increased attack speed, increased critical strike chance. Again, I just got really lucky with my weapons. You probably need to buy some off the market. Not great to start a league out with. Having a weapon-dependent build. I kind of forgot what that felt like. Charges don't stay up very long yet, as you noticed, and that's because I think I need more kill speed, more run speed, more ability to get around the map fast. I have the Whirling Blades is pretty good. I just haven't really been using it to its full extent, really. But I need to get around faster before my charges drop is really what it is. And if I can kill faster and kill larger packs, then I won't have that problem. So I think in maps it's going to be fine. The bad. I need int. Let's look at the tree real fast. I had to pick up 2 int nodes, 230 int nodes right here. Something's coming. And I don't like that. Again, I'll probably spec out of those, but you're gonna need a lot of int on your gear. I also had to roll up a double int necklace here. As you can see, I had to add intelligence to this necklace just to get me over the threshold there. So really, the reason I want that is not just for the AoE gem, which is really not that high of an int, but I want to use Assassin's Mark. And that has a really, vulnerability. That's the curse I'm going to be using in the long run. I'm not sure. I still might go with Assassin's Mark. I'm going to be using one of the 2 of these. It probably is going to be Assassin's Mark, which has a lower int threshold. You can see the vulnerability already has over 100, so that's pretty tough. And why isn't it leveling? It's about to level. So it has a high int threshold. I don't like that, but it is what it is. And we'll see what happens. I might not use vulnerability because I'm not going bleed anymore. So Assassin's Mark with the added crit might be a little bit better. Plus, it also gives me 13 or more to 20 life and mana when I kill something. So it's going to help me out with mana a lot. Because Leech is also a problem. I did not talk about that. I know we've talked about it in the comment section on the previous video. But what I'm going to be changing out. Also might need some dex. Sorry I didn't talk about that because the high-end foils have a high dex. It's like 124 or higher. So I might need to add some dex to the build. But yeah, I'm going to be changing out the bleed. I'll show you the tree in a little bit. I already recorded that. I'm just going to use the same recording. But I'm going to be switching that out for more initial hit damage, so increased weapon damage, increased accuracy, and then crit. I think that's going to serve this build better, and then whatever bleed I get off of the Ascendancy path is just going to be, for shits and giggles, just going to be extra added damage, which is kind of cool. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be showing you how I'm changing the tree here, and let me know what you think in the comments section. I think it's going to be a much better build. It's still pretty fun. It's still a fun build, and I haven't done a melee build ever, so this has been a lot of fun for me. I've done a lot of spell builds, and so I wanted to do something different. So again, let me know what you think. How are you progressing with this? And what did you change up? And I will see you probably at level 70 when I'm starting up maps. As always, everyone, stay frosty. Or don't stay frosty. Wait, there's another piece coming up. I'll be right back. So here's the original build from that first video I showed you. And I want to do something with the tree that... with this tool that is really, really cool. The link is in the video description for this tool, by the way. I've made a couple other builds here, and I'm going to do a build comparison, basically, a skill tree comparison. So first I'm going to switch to my new build, the one I'm going to be doing. I'll hit skill tree comparison, then I'll click back to my old build here. So the old build is blue. You can see I've removed the bleed nodes here. I've also removed this wheel, and I'm going after this wheel right here, and also I've bridged the gap here instead of doing this, right? So those are the changes I've made to the build. It's going to get me a lot more accuracy, damage, and no more initial crit, but I'll show you how I could get more crit. I think it gives me a little crit, but we'll see. So when you look over here, anything with a green means I'm gaining. I'm gaining 10 strength to doing it this way with the new build. Because of that, I'm gaining 5 life, but I'm losing this poison on hit against bleeding enemies, which again I don't care about. Damage over time I'm losing. Increased physical damage over time, again losing there, and increased skill duration, which we don't care about any of that stuff, so it's fine. But I'm gaining 52% increased accuracy with swords. Again, losing bleeding damage, or damage against bleeding enemies. That really is, again, that's really for bosses, but it's only an increase. It's not more, so that's really not that much. I'm also losing a little bit of attack speed here, just generic attack speed, and some one-handed melee weapon attack speed. But I'm gaining 16% increased attack speed with swords, so technically I'm going up by 5%. So that's a gain. So I'm gaining accuracy, I'm gaining speed, I'm losing some melee damage there, 12%, gaining it here, so that's 8% now. I lost 50 here, but I'm gaining 116 here. So I'm going up by about 50% there. So I'm getting a lot of initial hit as well. So that's really awesome. Some accuracy, some initial hit. That's really great. And that's really the only difference with the build. The 10 strength is not that big of a deal. It's mainly the accuracy, a little bit more speed, and initial hit. That's going to help this build a ton. Another way I could have done it was to go this direction and just completely bypass this whole bottom section here. Let's see what the differences are with that. And again, I kept this wheel right here, as you can see. Only this middle build goes after this other wheel. I also got out of the bleed nodes here, which is kind of obvious. I already talked about that. So let's talk about the differences here. I basically bridged over this way and then went up around here and grabbed all this life, and there's some speed in here and stuff like that. I don't think up here is any different. No, that's all the same. So let's start at the top. If I do it this way, I will lose 10 dex and intelligence by going this route instead of going down here. I think that's what it is. Oh no, it might be nodes over here. I don't know. I lose 10 intelligence and dex. I also lose a little bit of crit strike. 32. I'm sorry. The new build gets me 10 more dex and intelligence, which makes sense. Like that's an intelligence and that's a dex node, right? It will give me 32% more increased critical strike. That's from these nodes right here. Okay. If you come down this direction, I lose some armor. Actually, quite a lot of armor there. Again, armor's not that big of a deal because it doesn't really help. It helps against small hits, and we don't care that much about that. I will gain a little bit of life going the new direction. I will lose 20% increased life recovery from flasks. That's pretty big. I will gain physical damage. That's good. I'll gain a jewel slot. I would gain 66% accuracy there, but I'll lose 52% here. So overall, there's a gain in accuracy by, looks like 18%. That's pretty good. 12% increased attack speed. I will gain 28% more, and lose 16. Actually, wow, that's like 30. So that's a lot of attack speed right there. I lose 116 damage and just get 50. So my initial hit will be smaller by not a lot, but it looks like about 50%. And I lose, obviously a little bit less accuracy there. So I didn't feel like this was a good thing because also, and I'm not sure if it's going to show it, I do get a jewel slot. That's really big, especially since I picked up a jewel that has like 3 of the 4 types of damage. I think it has like a critical modifier and 2 damage things on it that I could use, 2 damage modifiers. But one of the biggest things too, and it's not showing it. I thought it would show it with keystones, but it doesn't. Is I will not have cannot be stunned. If I go this direction, I don't get it. So let's make sure that's the case, because it might not be actually. Come on, switch over. Okay, yeah, see? I won't get cannot be stunned. Right? Yeah, see? There's no cannot be stunned. Not sure that's really worth it. I don't know. I gained some speed, some accuracy. That's probably really good. I probably should keep it for that reason. The jewel slot's amazing only because I found a good jewel. But losing the cannot be stunned, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. So I'm going to go the other route first. I don't know. As far as life-wise, it's the same. Like if you do this again, you can see that. Oh, now it's showing that it's coming up missing. But if you look at life in defense, it's the same. Okay, 181%. There's no difference there. The difference really is the armor nodes right there if you're talking about tank. I also get 32% more crit, so maybe that's not a bad idea actually. I lose out on not being able to be stunned, but I also get the jewel slot. Huh. Not a bad idea probably. But I also lose it on all that armor. I don't know. I'm going to be thinking about it. Tell me what you think in the video description. I also looks like I get out of these too, which are decent because they're only 4% life nodes, so I don't really care about the armor there. Maybe that's a good idea actually. So let me know what you think in the video description, in the comment section, what you're going to be doing and what you think's the better call. I actually think this route might be better because I pick up crit as well, 32% more crit. Not that I really need it because I already have like, what's that? 400% crit, so I'm not sure another 32% is really worth it, but we will see. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will see you guys probably at level 70, and as always, stay frosty.